Mr. Marston. How are you?
Good, Miss McFarland. How are you?
I'm well. Would you mind riding with me to Armadillo? I've got to get some supplies and I could do with the company.
Of course.
You can take the reins. It wouldn't do for a terrifying bounty hunter such as yourself to be seen driven around by a woman. Take the driver's seat. Come on. If you don't mind, I'd really like to get moving. You're looking much better, considering you were almost buzzard food a couple days ago.
I have you to thank for that, miss.
So do tell me, have you needlessly risked your life since we last spoke?
No, miss, I have not.
Well, that's a relief. Perhaps there's hope for you yet.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Oh, there's always hope, Mr. Marston. You can't be a rancher in this kind of country if you don't believe that.
An admirable attitude, miss.
I suppose so. I can't think of any other way to stay sane, to be frank. What about you? Have you ever given up hope altogether?
Hope hasn't really entered into it. It's not really something I think about.
A peculiar outlook. I can't really say I understand you.
I can't always say I do either.
Oh, don't be so deliberately enigmatic.
I'm not, miss.
Yes, you are. You are being deliberately obscure as a substitute for having a personality.
I just know there are two theories to arguing with women, and neither one works.
I'm not even going to dignify that gibberish with a response. I think it's kind of funny I found you dying on the side of the road and now you're driving me into town.
You have a strange sense of humor.
Well, you must admit, it's an unusual start to a friendship.
I didn't realize we were friends, Miss McFarland.
Oh, please. Now who's being funny? Listen, I know that business with Williamson is your business, but I don't know. You've been good to us, and I don't think you're a bad man. A little stupid, perhaps, but not rotten. I just worry about you gallivanting around these parts like you're some kind of deranged bounty hunter. Like Paul always says, don't go waking snakes.
I appreciate your concern for us lesser mortals, Miss McFarland. I really do. And if there was any other way out, I'd take it. I can assure you of that.
You never did tell me where you live.
I have a small holding up in Great Plains.
A farmer? Yeah, and I'm the Queen of England. And at what point during your day of hunting down outlaws do you find time to raise chickens?
Only been at it 3 years or so. I guess I'm kind of new to it.
You're telling me? So who's looking after this farm of yours right now?
Uncle. Well, he's not my uncle, as far as I know. Just an old dog who's as lazy as a lizard on a hot day. Kind of fella laboring under the delusion that age brings wisdom.
Sounds like the perfect person to leave in charge of your entire livelihood.
We go way back, and I didn't have a lot of choice.
I'd be getting back there if I was you.
That's what I'm trying to do, miss.
How well do you know New Austin?
I don't. We talked about coming down here many times, but never made it.
Who's we?
Me and the folks I used to work with. Yeah, New Austin. The last real outlaw country, where the old ways still hold true. Do a man wrong, he'll shoot you for it. Do a man right? Well, he still may shoot you for it. But at least you have an idea of what's right and what's wrong there.
Dear, oh dear, Mr. Marston. What dreadful novel did you get that romanticized drivel out of? Those days are long gone, if they were ever here at all. According to Paul, those days were just people shooting each other because they lost at cards. We'll be lucky if our ranch survives another 5 years. Businessmen are the new cowboys. You look like a man who's been through the mill.
Thank you.
I mean, you've lived some life. I'm 27 years old and I have rarely left Hennigan's stead. Although many years ago we did briefly employ a French governess. Well, I think she was French. She said she was French, but she spoke Russian. That was when Paul thought I would become a lady.
A change of pasture doesn't always make for a fatter calf.
I know, and I wouldn't change my life for all the money in the world. I'm just saying, sometimes I wish I'd been, well, braver. Been to more places, seen more things.
If you ask me, it usually takes more strength to stay than to run, Miss McFarland.
I always enjoy a trip to Armadillo.
Sure is a pleasant journey.
It used to be such a nice town before that gang started helling around the place, causing all that trouble, shaking down the local merchants, kidnapping, and worse.
That's what I heard.
It's a terrible shame, if you ask me, and there's not a man with the gravel in his gizzard to stand up to them.
What about the marshal?
Well, he's doing what he can with what he's been given, I suppose. So this is Armadillo. Manhattan it is not, but it does okay for us. Most important thing for you right now is getting yourself into Dr. Johnson's office to purchase some medicine. The first one's on me.
Thank you, miss. I'll pay you back.
I'm sure you shall. The doc's a good fellow. He saved your life, so be polite to him. Meet me in front of the general store when you're done.
I'm thinking this whole Wild West adventure might have been the wrong
Hello?
He moves in mysterious ways.
It's excellent to see you today.
Hi there.
Finally come to get that bullet out your leg. You have any night fevers, come back and see me.
Old Jake Penzanski is laid up, I hear.
Thanks a lot.
Stay away from the salt pork and tobacco.
Much obliged.
Well, thanks for driving me. It was nice to be able to enjoy the view for once, and a little company never hurts now and again.
You're more than welcome, miss. Least I can do. Thank you for the medicine.
Why don't you have a look around Armadillo? You can always take a stagecoach back to the ranch later.
I might just do that. Travel safely, miss.
Try not to get yourself shot. I won't be around to save you this time.
Howdy there.
Well, hello there.
What's it all coming to?
Be having all that money.
Bonjour, mister. Do you want a little...
Excuse me, madam.
Why, hello. Whoever built you knew what he was doing.
I don't think you should have said
Only reason to do this job is the free folks you get down at the whorehouse. To get some of that scout.
Don't mess with me!
Ghost riders in the sky.
Seen him, Mama.
Jacob Austin is said to be having relations with Mrs. Winston.
Every day.
I heard 2 lawmen got killed at Twin Rocks.
He's known for showcasing. They're all fine guns. That's right. Well.
Well, look at you.
Woo-wee! I ain't had a decent crop in years, but looking at you, I feel something growing.
Howdy, Lincoln. See you in the bar
The
later.
Walton's gang came by, robbing and
My
killing.
goodness.
For some reason, they left me alone.
Fall to your knees. Be ashamed and disgraced in front of the Lord.
See you around.
Dad, deceive you citizens.
Scum liquor!
I'm gonna run for governor. Yes, sir. When I'm in office.
There is nobody.
Whoever built you knew what he was
His big mouth got him
Well,
killed.
really? Come and see me.
I knew she was a soiled dove. Mister. I'ma quit this job and live the easy life.
Not like you need.
Got any rum?
Why don't you and me spend a little time together?
Whoever built you knew what he was doing.
What do you mean, sir?
I'd steer clear of Pleasant's house if I were you.
This whole organization.
Why, hello there.
Hello. Sing hallelujah to him and you will hear your praise.
Hi.
Teachers of the law and hypocrites.
Bad news is good news. Newspapers for sale.
Don't mess with me!
Bow down and you will not perish.
I'm gonna tear up that race.
Well, protecting yourself, it's the American way. The marshal best step up post haste. Men,
Dear sir, hello.
we got the Second Amendment for a reason, don't we?
If my daddy had hurried up and died earlier, I might have been able to find a better pursuit.
Southwestern Railroad says more trains coming through.
We got oxen around for a breakfast meeting next week. That kind of thing don't. We meet again. Howdy. Hello.
Hello there. Oh my.
This'll fetch a good price.
Mister, she's gone.
Who is?
My wife, she's gone. She went out picking mushrooms in the hills near Hanging Rock and they got her. The stories are true.
What'd the police do about it?
Oh, about as much as you'd expect. Made me fill out a form. Beryl ain't strong, but she's a good girl.
I'll see what I can do.
Hello there.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Hey. Whoa, whoa. Whoa there. Don't think you'll be wanting this no more, friend.
Howdy.
This is dirty. This is a mess here. Let's go. Come on. Come on, easy up now. Slow it up now.
Mr. Marston, I've been hearing about your plans.
Have you, Miss McFarland?
Yes, from Lee Johnson. To settle here and build a life for yourself.
I'm afraid those aren't my plans. See, I already have a life. Well, I had one, and I'm trying to reclaim it. Or maybe what you could say is I had two, and I'm trying to end one of them so the other can survive.
You do so love to talk in riddles, Mr. Marston. Do you do that, I wonder, as a substitute for having anything interesting to say?
Probably, Miss McFarland.
Oh, call me Bonnie, you fool. Call me Bonnie.
Miss McFarland, I'm married. I have a son. I had a daughter, but she died. Years before that, I rode in a gang. We robbed banks, trains, held people ransom. We killed people we didn't like. Bill Williamson was in that gang. Now, if I don't capture my former brother in arms, great harm will befall my family. Now, I don't suppose any of this is very interesting to you, but I hope it explains why I wasn't so eager to talk about it.
No, I do understand. I had no idea. You poor man.
Even in this new country, memories don't really fade. My father was an illiterate Scot born on the boat into New York. He never saw his homeland, but to hear him talk about it, you'd imagine he only ever ate haggis and wore a kilt. And he hated the English for what they had done to his great-grandparents that he'd never met. People don't forget. nothing gets forgiven.
That's true, especially when it comes to money. And you know, even now, after all his labors, my father's debts are still terrible. I worry every day about us losing the ranch. It would kill him.
My father died when I was 8 years old. His eyes were, well, let's just say he was blinded in a bar fight south of Chicago. My mother died during childbirth. She was a prostitute and he was her, well, I don't know what he was. So I was sent off to an orphanage and ran away and fell in with a gang.
My word. What a difficult life you've lived.
The leader of the gang taught me how to read. Taught me how to see all that was good in the world. He was a great man in a way.
But you killed people.
Sure. And I've suffered for it. And that's the life I left, or tried to leave. Said too much, Bonnie. I'm an uneducated killer, sent here to do all I can do well. Kill a man in cold blood so that another man may do his part to cut crime in an area, and a rich man can be elected governor on the back of these promises.
Civilization is a truly beautiful thing, Mr. Marston. Listen, can you help me?
Well, I can try. What do you need, money?
No, nothing so complicated. I need an extra hand to take out the herd to pasture.
Sure. Point me in the right direction.
Right. Are you ready to learn how to herd some cows? Giddy up! Thank you for telling me all that back there. It must have been hard for you.
I hope you understand now why I've been playing my cards somewhat close to my chest.
I didn't know you had a wife and child. Then again, I don't think I ever asked. They're lucky to have a man like you.
I ain't so sure about that, but thank you.
How are you, Miss McFarland?
Whoa there! You should learn to ride before you learn to herd. Get behind the herd! That should start them moving in the right direction. Assuming they aren't put off by your smell.
He's got it! Nice job, Mr. Marston! That's it!
Whoa there.
Drive them down the road, Mr. Marston!
Come on, you dumb heifers.
Look at the cowboy. Ain't bad, Lord, is it?
This way! We need to take them out to the pasture!
Keep going, Mr. Marston! He's just showing off now.
Good! Now we need to move this entire herd out to the far pasture for grazing. Sweep back and forth behind them. Keep them nice and tight. Leave those stragglers to me. You stay focused on the main herd. You stick with the main herd. I'll round these stragglers up for you. Preaching might be your true calling, Mr. Marston. Either that, or you were a cow in a past life.
Thank you, Miss McFarland.
I'll see you later. I have work to do back at the ranch.
Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Come on. Whoa.
You should see the poor state of some folks' table. I have to laugh.
And I can tell you with no uncertainty that miracle cures are no laughing matter. I bid you good day, sir. Oh, Mr. Marston, good to see you. How have you been keeping?
I'm well, Mr.
Mr. West Dickens, Nigel West Dickens of East Cheap, London, New Waverly, New York, and Armadillo, New Austin. At your service.
At my service.
At everyone's service. At the service of science, of knowledge, of life.
How are your wounds?
Much, much better. But then they would be.
Would be.
I know a cure for all ailments, Mr. Marston.
Ah, I'm sure you do. And I'm sure for just $2 an ounce, I could live forever.
Oh, but for you, sir, I'd do a bulk discount rate of $1.95 an ounce, as long as you buy 100 ounces or more. That's a lot of immortality.
Give it up, old man.
That's Mr. West Dickens to you, boy.
Give it up, old man.
Listen, Marston, I'm broke, but this stuff is good. It works. I need a healthy young man like you. Come along, let's ride over to my newest customer at Ridgewood, and I'll explain while we go.
Okay.
To Ridgewood Farm, the sick and needy await us. Oh, the life of a wandering saver of souls.
I declare. Scribbled out of your mouth, young man.
I heard about you, Mr. West Dickens.
And I about you, John Marston.
Hoodwinking the weak, gullible out of their hard-earned money.
My dear boy, it is you who is gullible, if I may be so bold, for heeding such ill-informed scuttlebutt.
You're as full of wind as a horse with the colic.
I have been blessed with the gift of language, and for that I will not apologize. But the West Dickens elixirs speak for themselves. My thousands of happy customers attest to that.
Those men trying to kill you didn't look so happy.
Skepticism is the bastard child of progress, John. Knowledge makes a fool into a doubting Thomas. It's the cross I bear as a pioneer in the fields of commerce and medical research.
You seem to be mistaking me for an idiot.
My tonic cures all known ailments, that I can guarantee you. But, for the sake of argument, even if it didn't, surely there's still value in giving a person the belief they can feel better. If my tonic is such a sham, how do you explain the fine battle in which you find me? Last time you saw me, I was knocking at death's door.
You should thank the doctor for that. I reckon you were acting it up worse than it was.
Act I can, John. A more convincing Othello there has never been. And so shall you, a fair Iago or Cassio make.
I don't like the sound of this.
Showmanship, John. The flourish, the bow. We are operating in a competitive marketplace. Our product must stand out.
And how does this involve me?
We're going to use your God-given talents to our advantage.
I'm really starting to regret
I'll drop
this.
you off at the outskirts of Ridgewood. That way, it won't look like we came together. Get back on the road! We'll have nothing left by the time we get to Ridgewood. Once I'm set up, saunter nonchalantly into the crowd that is sure to be forming. Eventually, I will call you up to try my tonic. After extolling the virtues, I will have you perform a few feats of wonder to amaze and impress the paying public.
Such as?
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary for a man in your line of work, I assure you.
So it is all a sham.
No, just a little innocent ballyhoo to grease the wheels of enterprise, that's all. Do you think that buxom young girl you see on the Voyage camera posters knows the first thing about photography? Advertising, my boy, is the future.
You best be a man of your word.
You alight here, dear boy, so no one sees us arriving together. I'll see you there. Be ready to enchant the crowd.
Didn't know that.
Friends, hard-working souls of Cholla Springs, gather round, gather round. Do you suffer from rheumatism, lumbago, acute chronic sciatic, neurologic, or inflammatory pain? Well, I represent the only company that makes the genuine article that cures headaches, neuralgia, earache, toothaches, backache, swelling, sprains, sore chests, swelling of the throats, contracted cords and muscles, anxieties and ravaged nerves, stiff joints, wrenches, dislocations, cuts and bruises, and
It adds vitality and vigor to the healthy man.
But can you prove it, old man?
Oh, I'm sure there's some customer here who could prove the qualities of it by taking a drink right now. You, sir, come up here. Step right up.
That's the spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. This poor, wretched volunteer, entirely unknown to me, will demonstrate the effects of Dr. West Dickens' own patent tonic. Be you a cowpoke or athlete, this miraculous elixir developed with the wisdom of the East keeps the muscles supple and relaxes the cords. It loosens the joints and gives a feeling of youth and vigor to the whole system. Not possible, I hear you say. Well, doubt no longer. Faith can move mountains, but I ask not for faith. I am a man of science, and today science will be vindicated. Your eyesight has greatly improved. Is that not so, friend?
If you say so.
That's right, it is. You heard him. What a good sport you are, sir. Now, gaze over yonder at that porch. If you squint, you may just be able to make out the skull that's hanging there. Go ahead, friend. Shoot that skull and demonstrate the miraculous eyesight you now possess. Remarkable! The eyesight of an eagle, granted by imbibing Dr. West Dickens' own patent tonic.
Anybody can make that shot. This man is a fraud. If your eye's so damn sharp, why don't you try shooting my hat out of the air?
My friends, our test case has been challenged to shoot a gentleman's hat out of the sky above our heads.
You can fool these people, but you ain't fooling me. Right. Let's just see how sharp you is with a moving target.
Get ready. He's about to throw it. Right, friend. Here comes the throw.
Go home! Ha! What I tell you?
Do not write him off yet. He is still adjusting to the powerful tonic.
Well, you want to try that again, sharpshooter?
Come on, then.
Here it comes.
You ready to get embarrassed?
Have you ever seen such an eye? Behold the power of the elixir, plucked out of the sky.
Hey! Hey! What? You think you can put a hole in a man's hat and just walk away, do you? Well, it don't work like that around here, mister. Come on! Are you a man or not?
A challenge of battle has been offered to our volunteer. Prepare for a display of Herculean brawn.
You want to fight, friend?
He is really toying with you, ladies and gentlemen.
Come to a kid.
You hit mighty soft for a man.
I'm taking this nice and slow.
All right, let's finish this.
There it is, skeptics and dissenters, irrefutable proof. Do not let this opportunity pass you by.
Look, he's over there. Go get him.
This ends now.
Watch out, he's got a gun.
Who the hell do you think you are? You ain't leaving here alive.
Howdy.
dear boy. The kind of deadly accuracy that can only be afforded by the West Dickens elixir. Come, I have plenty for all.
You'll be fine. Get out of my way.
Hey, where are you going?
I want a bottle. Get me a bottle, please. One of them, right here.
Yeah, no harm in trying one bottle, I suppose.
Well, I think that went kind of well, don't you?
I'm just glad that my normal job involves either chasing after cattle or murderers. Not the likes of you, mister.
Don't be like that.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to say my goodbyes, head on back to the real world.
Wait, sir. I've been thinking about your predicament, and I think I may have an idea. I've been thinking I could be your cunning Odysseus. Beware of the Greeks bearing gifts, sir. Williamson had better beware. We will make them into Trojans.
I don't rightly get you.
I want you to go and see my old friend Seth. He can come across as a little curious, but I'm sure you two will get on. He's most often found at Coots Chapel. He's very devout.
Why see him?
Because between him and me, we can get those gates to open for you, and you can walk right in, just like in Homer's great Trojan yarn!
How are you?